Leukemia hasn't progressed, but it hasn't gotten better either. Sally wants the summer with her children. She decides to wait until October to try a transplant with one of the available donors. In the meantime, she'll hope for an even better match. That can only happen if even more people agree to be tested as potential donors. The procedure is a very simple one. Since Michelle Carew became ill, tens of thousands of people have volunteered to take a simple blood test like this to see if they're compatible with anybody who needs a bone marrow transplant. Now, despite that huge number, matches are very hard to come by. The odds of my ever becoming a real donor are very, very slim.
It's the proteins on the white cells that we're looking at, and it's like a genetic fingerprint, and they're very unique. So it's very difficult to find two people unrelated that have the same genetic makeup, but we do find people that do have that.
For Caucasians who need transplants, there is about a 65% chance of finding a match. For other races, the odds drop considerably.
I think we still have a lot of room for hope because Sally has such a strong desire to be with her kids.
I just feel like it's not time yet for me to be taken away from my family.
And every time someone is tested as a potential donor, the odds for Sally and thousands of others creep up, if ever so slightly. That's why I did it, as did photojournalist Garrett Young. You see, it's tough not to at least try to help when you've seen close up what's at stake.
What am I going to do if I'm not here for them? Where are they going to, just going to take care of them? And that's right.
And that's the one thing that I think is going to really pull her through is just the love of her kids.
Ice cream.
For Dimension, I'm Trish Van Pilsum.
Not cookies.
While the perfect match still has not been found, Sally is feeling good and has decided to put off the less than perfect transplant until after Christmas. If you would like to try to help Sally and possibly others, the bone marrow drive will be held tomorrow and Tuesday at the Fairview Riverside Medical Center. For more information or to register, call Fairview Healthwise at 672-7272. Now, 3 companies, Pillsbury, Byerly's, and Fairview, have agreed to cover the costs of the tests.
And as Trish said, it's simple and painless.
Our prayers are with Sally, and maybe if everyone gets out there and donates, then someone get a match, maybe Sally and some others.
Yeah. Well, it is the first day of fall, and Rebecca Coles is out there enjoying what is a great evening, I'm told.
To help somebody for sure.
Tonight, a ray of hope for a young mother who's dying of cancer. Hundreds answer the plea for bone marrow testing, and it is a story you will see only on 4. Hello, everybody. I'm Don Shelby.
And I'm Amelia Santinella, sitting in for Colleen Needles. Now, we introduced you to Sally Caldwell last night.
Sally has leukemia. She also has a dream most parents take for granted. She wants to live long enough to see her children grow up. And thanks to a flood of bone marrow volunteers, that just might happen. WCCO4 News reporter Frederica Freiberg brings us the story of hope.
Hey, what's your name, ma'am?
Hundreds of people from the metro and beyond are calling to sign up to help Sally Caldwell. Hundreds more just coming by.
To the point where I've called for more supplies. It's been overwhelming.
I'll make a fist. You don't need to squeeze hard.
The Memorial Blood Center running the drive is swamped. Sally Caldwell is astonished.
This is really something. They didn't expect this at all. I didn't expect this at all. Not cookies, ice cream.
But people just could not stay away after seeing Sally's story on our Dimension Report Sunday night, seeing her plight, a young mother diagnosed with leukemia, a young mother who desperately wants to be there for her family, but she is unable to find a perfect bone marrow match. Such a match would allow a transplant that could save her life. So far, through the existing registry, she's found an imperfect match, a much riskier procedure.
Okay, here's some forms to fill out.
And so friends organized the donor drive. It's mostly strangers who answered the call.
And I'm meeting a lot of people that are coming in and out and giving me hugs and shaking my hand and telling me that they're thinking about me and praying for me.
Just being a mother, I could relate to the position she was in.
I just thought it was a good thing to do. Maybe someday myself or my son might need the same thing.
I had a sister who passed away from cancer a number of years ago, breast cancer, so I really couldn't do much for her, but I thought maybe, you never know, if this might be the right match for her or someone else, even if not her.
Hours for tomorrow's drive here at Fairview Riverside Hospital have been extended to meet demand because organizers hope for maybe 200 people at the two-day donor drive. In fact, as many as 1,000 people are expected. Donors must be between 18 and 60 years of age. Financial donations to help pay for blood screenings can be sent to the National Marrow Donor Program in care of the Memorial Blood Center in Minneapolis. The address is 2304 Park Avenue, Minneapolis, 55404. We'll repeat the address in just a few minutes. Amelia.
I'm tonight at 9 on ABC's 2020. Baseball Hall of Famer Rod Carew continues to go to bat for the National Donor Marrow Transplant Program. Carew tells Minnesotans he will do everything he can to give other children a second chance at life, a vow he made to his daughter Michelle, who died without finding a matching bone marrow donor. On Eyewitness News at 6:30, you'll meet two little girls who are living proof that the program works.
And if you have plans tonight, David George has the weather forecast for your evening coming forward. And get ready for a magic moment when two little girls meet their bone marrow donors from Minnesota on Eyewitness News at 6:30. 3 to 8 p.m. and it is free. It was a meeting of strangers, yet they felt very much a part of one another. Find out how two Minnesotans saved the lives of two young girls whom they had never met. We'll go along as they meet each other for the first time. A frightening experience for a group of kindred. Today marks the kickoff of Awareness Month for the National Marrow Donor Program. And this afternoon, two young West Coast girls met their Minnesota marrow donors for the first time. 11-year-old Candace Nichols of California got a chance to meet her hero and marrow donor, Reed Halstenrud of Eden Prairie.
Just to see her happy and healthy is the most exciting part for me.
Life is the best gift a kid could ever have.
5-year-old Megan Lawton of Arizona met her donor today as well, Dr. Bob Eng of Inver Grove Heights. If you want more information about the national Minneapolis-based marrow donor program, call this number, 1-800-MARROW-2. That's 1-800-MARROW-2.
Very sweet children today.
And you were there. You got a chance to see
there.
that. Oh, what a moment. Do you hate waiting in line?
Tonight's top story.
Sometimes I thought I was going to die because I wouldn't get one, but I did.
This young girl is alive because a Minnesotan volunteered to donate marrow. Two very grateful little girls are in Minnesota tonight that came here to say thank you to someone that they had never met until this afternoon. But they owe their lives to these individuals. Channel 5's Angela Davis was there to see all this and has our live top story coverage. What a reunion.
Chris, truly a story that warms your heart. The two young girls would not be with us today if it hadn't been for the National Marrow Donor Program and two unselfish Minnesota men who registered with it. I was fortunate to be there when the girls met their donors for the first time just a few hours ago. Candace Nichols of California just met her hero, Reed Halstenrud of Eden Prairie.
I would be nothing without you.
Candace is alive today because Reed donated his bone marrow to her.
How are you? Just to see her happy and healthy is the most exciting part for me.
Life is the best gift a kid could ever have.
5-year-old Megan Lawton of Arizona is also grateful to Dr. Bob Eng of Inver Grove Heights for giving her the gift of life.
She said, thanks for the blood. You know.
And watching these two very emotional scenes with Baseball Hall of Famer Rod Carew. He lost his own daughter, Michelle, just 5 months ago when a matching bone marrow donor could not be found.
And I don't cry because my daughter's not here. I cry for all the little kids around this country that's not given that second chance.
That's why Carew continues to go to bat for children like Megan and Candace so they can have a second chance at life.
You are the wind beneath my wings. For you are the wind beneath my wings.
Candace has a sweet voice. And Chris, I can assure you there just wasn't a dry eye at this luncheon, which, by the way, kicks off the Awareness Month for the National Marrow Donor Program.
What an emotional story. I'm sure it's extremely satisfying to Rad Carew to know that he has helped raise the awareness of the need for marrow donors, not just here in Minnesota, but around the country.
Yes, certainly. And it was just, a year ago this month that the Carews learned that their daughter Michelle had leukemia and needed a marrow transplant. And because of them, there are now double the number of donors than just last year. They now total more than 2 million.
All right, and maybe we can add a few more to that list.
I hope so.
Angela Davis, thank you very much. Channel 5 did some checking and found that each year more than 30,000 children and adults are in need of a marrow transplant. For most, it is their only chance for survival. About 30% of the patients find a matched donor right in their own family, but for the rest, it is much more difficult, especially for minorities. Out of 1.8 million volunteer donors, only 20% are minorities. There is a great need for more donors who are African American, Asian Pacific Islanders, Hispanics, American Indian, and Alaska natives. If you are interested in finding out how to become a volunteer marrow donor, here's a number for you to call. 1-800-MARROW-2. And we'll repeat that number in just a few minutes so you can jot it down.
Megan was diagnosed in August of 24 with AL leukemia. She also has a chromosome disorder called Philadelphia chromosome, which is why she had the bone marrow transplant. It wasn't even because of leukemia. They say it's a 3% chance. It usually happens. They say kids with leukemia either have too many chromosomes or not enough chromosomes, or maybe it's a mixed chromosome. And it's just a 3% chance of that happening, and Megan happened to be one of the 3%. She's doing very well. She just started kindergarten this year. She's bowling with her big sister. And she keeps me very busy now, and she's feeling very good. And we just want to say thank you to